All right, Bourbon Quest, it's time to go. So what do we got? It is the last flight of our contenders for Whiskey of the Year. This is Flight 7. Yeah, we're going to get right into it. We're going to touch on a few other things. Man, as I was sitting up for this flight, I was just thinking, this has been a great year. I don't think it started off good, but man, it's finished with a bang. And as I was setting this flight up, I started thinking back to what we've scored and accomplished, and some of these are already moved on to the 14 that'll compete for the top 10 whiskeys of the year. But I think, you know, when the big scores we started off, well, let's just touch base of what's in this flight. This is Old Carter, straight bourbon whiskey. This is batch 8, 116.8 proof. And so, of course, back a few months ago, you can go watch that. We went up to Louisville, Kentucky for their single barrel proof release that we got to meet Mark and Sherry Carter. Super fantastic. And I haven't opened that one yet because that was not only pricey but special and was signed by Mark and Sherry. And so go back and watch that video when we went to Old Carter and picked that up. But we do have batch 8 and love what Mark and Sherry do. I've only had the bourbons. I've heard great things about their American whiskeys, even their ryes, even though I'm not a rye guy. But I want to say it was either batch 7 or batch 9. Then this is batch 8. Then we got that single barrel proof, which I'm sure probably in 2023 will probably open. And then I don't think it was the same trip, but right around that same time we went up. That's the other bottle that's competing in this is the Bardstown Bourbon Company, a Chateau de Laubade, a Scooby-Doo. So that was one that early on in my Bourbon Quest I missed out on, and I wasn't going to allow that to happen again. So I went up there, was in line early in the morning. You can go back and watch that video. Got to meet Steve Naley, which he signed this bottle. Along with, we also picked up Bardstown Discovery 8, which was great again. Because batch 3 was my whiskey of the year for 2020, and although I don't think this Chateau de Laubade quite lived up to the first version of it, I was still super excited. I think the last 2 times I've had it, it's opened up a little bit of airtime, so I'm excited to see how it does tonight. And then Larceny C922, maybe the best Larceny barrel proof yet. Back in the spring, George and I went up again to Louisville, spent a night or 2 there, went to the Old Forester Distillery, picked up the Old Forester 117 Warehouse K series. So I mean, 3 super bottles and trips that we got. And then, man, and December's just been freaking phenomenal with what we've been able to pick up. And I need to do like a store haul video because December has been freaking phenomenal. Yeah, so, but it's just with the Advent calendar and then doing these flights for Whiskey of the Year, it's been hard to put that in, but I'm not going to pull them all out. But we got a Chestnut Farms single barrel, cast strength, 125 proof that we'll be hopefully at some point doing. We just picked up a few days ago the Blood Oath pack number 8, although it was funny because the day I picked it up, I was watching Jason C. at Mash and Drums review on it because I knew it was out in my market. And normally we got that in the spring, which Jason did because his video was like from 7 months ago. And I literally just picked it up a few days ago because it just now hit my market here in East Tennessee. So yeah, Blood Oath packed 8. And after watching Jason C's video, super excited about delving into that. We picked up a Four Roses single barrel strength pick also in December. That's over there. And then I will show these because I want to give a shout out. We picked up finally the Jack Daniels small batch Coy Hill. So shout out to my buddy Paul. He was also able to get one of these today, so I'm glad for Paul on that. But that's the Jack Daniels small batch. Of course, the single barrel was our whiskey of the year last year. Then of course also if you saw in the earlier flights, Chattanooga Founders, we did the thing with Tim Pearson at Chattanooga Whiskey, of course rocking the Chattanooga gear. We picked up a Stag, not Stag Junior, but a Stag because they dropped the Junior 131 proof. So yeah, and then we also just picked up a Rock Hill Farms. So one of probably my favorite things from Buffalo Trace. Again, super hard to get, and this is now my third one, so I feel or my second one anyways. I feel very fortunate and blessed on that because I love Rock Hill Farms. Of course, still haven't scored a B-Tac or a Pappy, but so far, I mean, I dig the Rock Hill Farms. And also, my buddy Paul was able to get one of these today, too. So, yeah, along with, what else have we got this month? I think that's the highlights. Yeah, the Rock Hill Farms, the Stag. Yeah, we're going to get on into all that. It's just, yeah, with the advent calendar, this. All right, enough about that. We need to do a store haul video, but just to say, yeah, I must have been a good boy this year because Santa delivered with the bourbon in December. So let's, without further ado, this is the last flight. Once we do this one, the top two from this flight, we'll move on just like the previous 6. So then we'll end up with 14. And then, yeah, we'll be doing that flight of 14 to determine our top 10 of the year. So let's delve right into it, Bourbon Quest. Again, don't pay attention to what whiskey is behind or near which bottle. These have all been mixed up using a very high-tech, sophisticated, dangerous, proprietary method approved by NASA. That's a bunch of bullshit. But anyways, all right, without further ado, whiskey number 1. Oh man, definitely. I mean, very sweet caramel, vanilla, chocolate, cherry. Definitely get the proof on that too. A little bit of bacon spice. All right, cheers, my friends. Yeah, definitely get that proof. Caramel, vanilla, toffee, chocolate. Nice mouthfeel, deep hug. Super great finish. Man, that's spectacular. These are always tough because they're all good. So it's a matter of figuring out which is better. And yeah. Which is obviously why we do them blind, because, all right, that's super enjoyable, that first one. All right, let's go to the second one. I think the nose is definitely sweeter on the first. The second one's a little bit more richer in nose. A little bit more darker fruit. Like blackberry, raspberry, dark cherry. Again, good proof on this too. All right, cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, more of those darker fruits. A little bit more. What is that? It's like a salty caramel. That's, I think I might know what that one is, but I don't think it's your traditional bourbon. There's salty caramel in that, more darker notes. All right, I think I'm gonna lean towards number 1 over number 2. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, look. yeah, more of those darker notes. I definitely get raspberry, like salted caramel, some cherry, like, I don't know, there's something else that I'm not quite familiar with that, well, I enjoy this and I think it's good. I just don't think it's your traditional bourbon profile, especially when I compare it to number one. Yeah, I definitely would lean 1 over 2. All right, let's go to whiskey number 3. Remember, stay hydrated, my friends. All right. Again, a little bit, this is definitely darker in color. There's some, again, more darker, richer notes on this, like blackberry, again, like black cherry. I don't think the proof is quite as much on this one as the other two. Alright, let's go to the palate. Man, it's so good. It's like, I definitely get creme brulee, chocolate. I don't get as much proof on that. Definitely creme brulee, chocolate, and then touch of vanilla. Not near as much of a hug or finish on that. Wow, I still think it's probably better than the second one. Just because that second one just, I think it's just not your traditional bourbon. Something funky on it. Although good. And then I don't think it's quite as good as number one. Those are close, alright. This is going to be hard. Now this is a little bit lighter on the nose, but down some more of that. Ethanol is coming through, but and not as dark and rich as definitely the previous two. A little bit more lighter fruit notes, like not black cherry, but like just regular red cherry, orange, vanilla, definitely orange. Although decent amount of proof on the nose, definitely caramel, vanilla, a little bit of chocolate as well. Damn, these are gonna be tough. All right, cheers. Man, I definitely get tons of chocolate, vanilla, cherry, super sweet, super crushable. Man, this is gonna be hard. All right, so I enjoy that a lot. All right, we thought I think second is probably definitely out. Yeah, I think second is definitely eliminated. Although, damn, that's good. Man, I hate to eliminate any of these, to be quite honest with you. I think this is probably the most unfortunate flight, because some, like, yeah, that's, you know, part of it, just like the NCAA tournament, part of it's the draw that you get. because there's probably at least 2 or 3 bourbons that have advanced on based upon the flight that they were in, that any one of these would beat out. That part's unfortunate. I don't know. Maybe I need to rethink how I do this in the future. I mean, because I also do. Well, I mean, that's why number one. All right, while we're number two's out, unfortunately, because it's still freaking delicious, and probably would beat out 2 or 3 of the ones that are already advanced. And maybe I need to reevaluate and rethink this going into next year. Because I also do, I mean, number one, well, first off, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, yo. That does the channel a favor. We appreciate it. And then after that, do yourself a favor and ring that bell for notifications. That way you don't miss a damn thing. Whether when we do a store haul pick eventually, we'll be cracking open some Chestnut Farms, some Blood Oath, some Jack Daniel's small batch, along with last year's winner, the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill single barrel. I mean, we're killing it. And then the new Stag. We got Rock Hill Farms. I mean, we are crushing it, bro. And but no, like, and then we go in. As soon as we reveal the top 10 whiskeys of the year, which I'll be extremely excited about. Also, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Terry Crow. Met him like the last week and came up, introduced himself. We talked, got our pictures made together, and then he's left a couple comments. I've been super busy. I'll respond back soon, Terry. But thanks for your comments and thanks for supporting the channel. Also, big shout out to Paul. Like I said, he scored the same thing I did, the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill small batch and the Rock Hill Farms. I can't remember if he told me if he had Rock Hill Farms before or not. But anyways, love those guys. Love all y'all. And then after that, smash that like button. That helps the YouTube algorithms to get it out to more people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these. But yeah, and that's why you also want to ring that bell for notifications, because not only are we going to be doing the top 10 whiskeys of the year, but then come January, we'll be doing January Rye Month, because we don't do dry month here on Bourbon Quest. We bank on the rye. And then in February I turned 50, so there'll probably be some special things there. And then obviously in March we do the March Madness, which that's where I do 64 whiskeys in a March Madness basketball tournament bracket. And that is about matchups, you know, low seeds versus high seeds. Yeah, your JW Jam may take out a fucking Weller 12 or Weller 12 year or something like that. But, which I'm cool with that for the Mass Madness that we'll be doing in March. But I don't know if it's completely fair to kind of have a similar stance here. I think I got to reevaluate going into next year. I mean, this year is what this year is, and I think obviously all 28 bottles are worthy of buying. But at the end of the day, we're trying to, you know, crown a winner, pick our top 10. And then, you know, the top 3 are gems, the top 5 are scores, and obviously if you can get the top 10, you know what I'm saying. But I kind of hate that some good whiskeys like this number 2 is going to be eliminated somewhat based upon the flight that it was picked in. Alright, enough about that shit. Let's hydrate and ultimately determine a winner. Or an advancer, you know what I'm saying. So, right now I think one's in the lead. Second is second, third's competing. So let's run it back the other way. Let's start with 4, then 3, then 1, because we already eliminated 2, unfortunately. All right. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, I'm still recording. Jesus Christ. All right, we got to wrap this up. Ugh. Yeah. Although I like it, I think it's a little bit too minty, a little bit too chocolatey. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's go back. Number 3. Yeah, that's better than number 4. And so obviously I think number 1 is going to advance on to. Yeah, those are delicious. Alright, so again, none of these are bad, none of these are losers, but we got to make a decision. So, out is really, that was the worst one. Alright, so damn it, Old Forester, you had like 3 bottles that competed. Yeah, you had 3 out of the top 28, and none of them advanced. The rye didn't advance, which, granted, is probably the second best rye I've ever had outside of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, and it will definitely be making an appearance in January rye month. But no. And then even the single barrel proof from Pops didn't finish. Old Forester's a 3-time loser in this? That's amazing. Alright, so obviously the first out is Old Forester, the 117 series, which, don't get me wrong, because, God, I don't know if we'll do it January, February, March, or April, somewhere in there, because we gotta try and find room for all this stuff, because I'd already planned on, and especially since I picked up the Jack Daniel's small batch Coy Hill, which is a 375 milliliter bottle, and I've gotten, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 expressions or what am I trying to say, special releases, which I'm okay with when they do them in 375 milliliters so that more people can experience them. But so I'd already planned on doing, like, in the next month or two, I was going to do a competition of 375 milliliters and less bottles to compete. And that, obviously, this will be one of them. But it's out tonight. So Old Forester, you had 3 bottles in the competition, and every one of them freaking got eliminated, which is unfortunate. Alright, we're going to save that. I'm not going to drink any more of it because we got to save it for the little bottle competition. So that's out. Second out. Again, unfortunate because, as you know, I love Mark and Sherry Carter, but A is out. That's the Old Carter batch number 8. So damn good. Just maybe a little bit more minty and fruit forward than probably my palate likes. I actually am surprised because, yeah, A's out. That was the Old Carter. Oh yeah, you were out too, Old Forester. Put you over. So the 2 moving on are Yeah, the Chateau de Laubade, Scooby-Doo. I actually thought that was going to be the one that was going to be out because it wasn't your typical bourbon. Because it is blended straight bourbon whiskeys finished in Chateau de Laubade Armagnac cask. And I thought that was the one I didn't get the traditional bourbon flavors on. Which, like, listen, Old Forester, you had 3, and all 3 got eliminated. Bardstown Bourbon Company had 2, and both of them advanced. Both the Chateau de Laubade, aka Scooby-Doo, and then the Bardstown Discovery Batch 8, which, that's another thing. We hopefully will score Batch 9 in the next month or 2, because I've heard it's great. And as you know, Batch 3 was my 2020 Bourbon of the Year. And then 4, 5, 6, and 7, all were good. They weren't great. I thought 8 was great, but I've heard Batch 9 is even better. So we'll see. Yeah, we got a good lineup. So moving on from Flight 7 is Bardstown, Chateau de Laubade, aka Scooby-Doo, and then Larceny. See, I told you, this Larceny is, this is Bardstown, this is Larceny. Yeah. This is the best Larceny barrel proof ever. And which I think is a good thing. I think it's continued to. I'm going to pour some more of this Bardstown. And the Larceny. Ooh. I'll spill it. Alright, so it doesn't matter. They're both advancing, so. Bardstown, Chateau de Laubade, aka Scooby-Doo. Man. Yeah. I so wish I could have gotten a first expression of this. This is super good. It's I'm being kind of a little bit disparaging on it because I don't think it. Maybe the first one did. I don't think the second one lived quite up to the hype. And some of that might be just that I'm your traditional bourbon drinker. I mean, I'm not opposed to finished whiskeys or, different expressions, but by and large, I'm not a big fan of whiskey finish. Definitely not flavored, although we probably will do a video on that later. But I'm just like, just give me fucking straight bourbon. You know what I mean? Like, but this is actually good and enjoyable, but it's probably a little bit darker and richer than my typical palate likes. Yeah. I mean, it's moving on, but I will have to say, even though it's moving on, I'm a little disappointed in this one. I definitely don't think it's worth whatever I paid, between $130 to $150. I'm not saying it's bad at all, but I mean, I know I paid between $130 to $150. I mean, I do have Steve's signature on it, So that might be